Okay, so there was once this kid, and in the old days, the kids were called lazy and stupid and stuff like that. Even the first time I taught, they were called that. There was no learning disabilities, and they just figured if they weren't doing the work and they appeared that they could, they were just lazy or stupid. Okay, so this kid was one of those kids, and his last name is Goss. His first name I think is Carl. His middle name is Frederick. And he had a teacher who hated his guts, basically, because she couldn't get him to calm down, and he was a little rambunctious. And one day, she had it up to here, which is a saying in the old days, that, couldn't take it anymore. And she sent him to a corner to find the sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, all the way to 100. So you're adding 1 plus 2, and then adding 3 to it, and then 4, then 5, all the way to 100. And he said, Miss Medlin, the answer to that is 5,050. To which she said, Carl, go to the corner and add those numbers up. I've had it with you. I can't take it anymore. He goes, no, it's 5,050. And what he did in his little dumb head, actually his IQ is measured to be somewhere between 250 and 300. And he was not stupid. He was bored, extremely bored, because everything she was teaching him he had already figured out. But what he did in his head is he looked at the numbers just like I have them written on the board. And then underneath them in his head, he wrote them backwards. And he went all the way to 1. And when he did that, he said, well, each of these columns add up to 101. And I have 100 columns, so that's 10,100. Everybody with me? Yeah. But I only need half as much, because I don't need the bottom column. I only need the top one, so I'm going to divide that by 2. And the answer is 5,050. If you add the first 100 numbers, you get 5,050. He is correct. When you're trying to find the sum of a series, the formula you have is the sum of a series equals, and the number of numbers you're adding, which in this case would be 100, divided by 2, times the first term plus the last term. So that would be, we have 100 here, so this would be 100. So that would be 50 times 101, which would be 5,050. So sigma means sum, and we're finding the sum of the series. So if you think about this, we can write the series by just keep plugging in numbers. We start with m equals 1, and when you plug a 1 into here, you get 6, because 8 times 1 is 8, minus 2 is 6. When you plug a 2 into there, you get 14, right? Mm-hmm. So, and when you plug a 3 in, you get a 22. So we know that D is 8. We're adding 8 each time. Everybody see that? Mm-hmm. And we start at 6. So when we're doing sigma notations, you can keep plugging in all the numbers all the way up to 20, because that's the top level, and then add them all up together, but then you won't finish your homework in less than 20 minutes like you should. So I'm going to show you, you're going to use the same formula that we talked about. And we're going to show you how to find each one. To find n, you take the top number minus the bottom number, and you add 1 to it. So if we do that, what's 20 minus 1 plus 1?
20.
Yes. And for all your homework, I didn't notice, but they start at 1, so they're all going to be the top number. But we're going to change that next week. So that's n. So A1, to find A1, you plug in the bottom number, which is a 6. Everybody understand why it's a 6? And AN, you plug in the top number, which is 160 minus 2, which is 158. 8 times 20 minus 2 is 158. And now you just plug them in the formula. So you have 20 over 2, 6 plus 158 will give you the sum. And that's 10 times 164, which is 1640. So the first one is 16.